Hey guys, so I had some uh, some sad news today. That's the only way I can possibly describe it, and it's an understatement to say that because one of the first rescue dogs that I ever got, who we called Mama, she had to be put to sleep this morning, and the vet uh, said she was showing signs of the early stages of rabies. And um, I love this dog a lot. I rescued her from the local town with her litter of puppies, and I rescued her because she was going to be hung, to euthanize, to be killed. They were going to hang this dog. And a man who was working as a translator for another NGO in town, he heard about it, a Tanzanian, and he told the man who was going to hang her, who was doing this for money, to get rid of this dog because it was being deemed as a pest to the people who owned it, and she kept coming back to the house and she was causing trouble in the neighborhood. He was just trying to earn a living. So they asked me, and I took her and I stopped her from being hung, and I spoke to the man who was going to hang her, and I learned a lot from this dog from Mama. Her name is Mama. I learned a lot from Mama about life in Tanzania and myself as a human, because I was so angry at this man who was hanging dogs, one of many who's hanging dogs for money. And I was like, what sort of a person would do that? And I was angry, and I was getting ready to meet him. And when I met him and I looked in his eyes, he was just a normal man. And when I asked him questions, he had people he needed to feed. And his actions, which were just disgraceful, to hang a dog is disgraceful, were not coming from a place of maliciousness, but from a place of desperation. And that alone taught me a lot about life in Tanzania. And Mama herself taught me a lot about the animals there, because she's a stunning mother. She wouldn't leave her puppies. She'd given birth to them on a street, in a corner on a back alley. And it was a horrible area of town, and no white people had been there for forever. And it caused a lot of commotion when I got there. And the funny thing about Mama that day, I learned that dogs, they know things we don't know. And sometimes people know things that they shouldn't know, and I think it's because they're not thinking. And I think dogs are in a very thoughtless state, and very present and happy, and the love can flow through them freely. And I came and I sat with Mama for a while, and she was quite aggressive towards everyone who came to her. And they said, you're going to struggle to get her because of the puppies. So I walked away and went to my car. And the locals were shocked, because the car was quite far away. For the first time all day, she left the puppies and she followed me to my car. And when I got the car, I was getting a rope. I turned around, and there she was watching me. And I just knew that this dog knew I was there to help her and her puppies, because they were in bad shape. And the pups probably would have died, or she would have died, from being hung anyway. So they'd have died unless he killed the puppies as well. I don't know if he was going to hang the puppies. I don't know. But she followed me, and as soon as she saw me walking back towards the pup, she ran back to them and she sat waiting. And it was as if she was a smiley dog, and she let me pick her up, and we carried the puppies together and put them in the car and brought them back. And I rehomed all 4 puppies with loving homes, and I decided Mama would stay with me. And she would have been my house dog, but I have Johnicki as well. I had Mama before I had Johnicki, but Johnicki was much more obedient and attached to me immediately, and Mama and Johnicki were never friends, and they used to get into big fights, and Mama always came off worse, bless her. So. But she knew something, and this simple dog, as I say, this simple relationship that I had with Mama, taught me so much. It taught me things about intuition. It taught me not to judge people before I understand in Tanzania. Very easy to judge someone doing something like hanging a dog, but why are they doing it? But sadly today, she has died, and I never got to say goodbye, obviously, because I'm still in Hamburg. Just wanted to make that little video, I think, to say that the dog I love has died, but also to say that this simple dog is owed a thanks by people who hear what I've got to say or have seen what I've got to do, because their presence in my life for the last 2 years taught me a lot about people, and also about the spiritual gifts and understanding how it is that humans are not able to have the senses, as they say a dog has a sixth sense, because, and I can see it because dogs are not thinking like we are. I'll miss her dearly. I'll miss her a lot. I guess it kind of leads on to, you never know what builds up a person that you're looking at. And I think when you zoom out, a person is always built up from the collective. A kind act that might happen to someone today might reflect on the way they behave 10 or 20 years from now, and it might change them in a big way. Relationship with an animal might teach them and change their perception on something. In other words, hopefully in a non-cheesy way, we are all one. You never know. Simple things can be the building blocks and foundations of actions that people deem to be worthwhile.